Your insecurities can keep you from romantic interests, important job opportunities, and lower your self-esteem and aggravate your anxiety. 7 signs you're insecure about yourself. Number 1, you have unhealthy perfectionism. Y'all remember we've been talking about that for a while. You want everything to be perfect. People like this have an ingrained need for perfectionism in all that they do, and this leaves them feeling drained, unmotivated, and exhausted. This could be because they have a sense of perfectionism that seeks fulfillment or approval from others. Unhealthy perfectionism is caused by internal pressures like the shoulds and the musts that run through our mind and causes us to be overly critical, procrastinate, and develop a fear of failure and low self-esteem. Perfectionism causes you to set unrealistic expectations for yourself and leads to more internal frustration. Social media does not make this burden any easier to bear. With social media, we are now exposed to social comparison. 7 signs you're insecure about yourself. Number 2, you are overly competitive. You are overly competitive. Even someone who seems flawlessly confident in their abilities can actually be insecure. Are you always impulsively one-upping others? Do you feel superior to others when you do well, but upset and ashamed when you don't? Or jealous of when good things happen for other people? That part. Your self-esteem could be tied to how others see you and your achievements. If your self-esteem is rooted in how other people see you and your achievements, that's a false sense of self-esteem, because it's called self-esteem, which means your self-esteem has to be rooted in yourself. If I have a beautiful girlfriend and my self-esteem goes up because I just met this beautiful woman and now she's on my arm and my self-esteem is rooted in her, as soon as she betray me, as soon as she lie to me, as soon as she break up with me, as soon as she falls short, all of a sudden my self-esteem is going to crash, because it's rooted into somebody other than myself. Your self-esteem has to be rooted in you. That's why it's called self-esteem. If your self-esteem is rooted in your car, you got car esteem. I'm being honest. If your self-esteem is rooted in your house, you got house esteem. That's not self-esteem. Let that house burn down. Oh man, you're going to go through a depression. And it can happen. Let you wreck that car and you ain't got that insurance. Now you don't feel good no more. See, but when your self-esteem is rooted inside yourself, when you wreck that car, you saying to yourself, I thank God I'm alive. When the house burned down, you thanking Jesus you didn't let that burn down in that house. You ain't out there on your knees crying and, oh Lord, look at my house, look at my house. Don't you know you could be in there? Your kids could be in there. Your grandkids could be in there. Your pet could be in there. Your self-esteem could be tied to how others see you and your achievements. Displaying overly competitive behavior may be due to a competitive environment. Fragile self-esteem and narcissism point to an attempt to protect a superiority complex. External and internal factors need to be taken into account if you have a superiority complex. External, things outside of you, and internal factors, things that are inside of you, need to be taken into account to understand the person's mindset and how early childhood can be the source of these behaviors. Throughout infancy, a child feels inferior and looks towards an adult to feel secure and protected. Did you have protection? Did you feel protected when you were an infant and a child? Were there people to make sure nobody mistreated you and nobody abused you? Were there people who guarded you, protected your physical and your mental and your spiritual? When a parent ignores their child's physical or emotional needs, this is when a complex develops and the child grows up feeling the need to compensate for their unmet needs. 7 signs you're insecure about yourself. Number 3, you're a people pleaser. People pleasers are motivated by a strong desire for approval and external validation and may be insecure in their relationships. This insecurity makes you conform to other people's opinions. What's up? All right, let me finish. You might have a hard time saying no to something you genuinely don't want or like if it goes against the other person. Number 4, you're detached from others. You feel detached from others. You're like on the sidelines, just kind of walking through life. You know what I'm saying? You're not really participating. You're watching everybody else's life go on, and you're like, look at all these people having fun, all these people living, all these people, and all you got to do is make a decision that I want that for myself. I want to do that also. You're detached from others. You act secretive and aren't entirely comfortable with people you don't know. Does that sound like anybody? This could be linked to your attachment style. The theory of attachment style defines attachment as the lasting psychological connections between human beings. They often worry that others do not love them or that they will not fit in. So attachment styles are created during childhood, there it is, and can change throughout adulthood. Working with a counselor on your attachment style can be an effective way to alleviate attachment insecurity and help develop secure attachments. Because what you want are secure attachments in your life, man. I mean, all of them got to be like that. You can't afford one weak link. I'm talking about everybody in your life got to be willing to do for you what you're willing to do for them. It's a mutual understanding. It's a beneficial. Ain't nobody using anybody. Ain't nobody taking advantage of nobody. You don't have to second guess me, and I don't have to second guess you. You consistent in what you're supposed to be doing, and they consistent in what they supposed to be doing. Anything other than that is ludicrous. And it's beneath you. Because your time is important and is valuable. See, that's one thing that God gave everybody, whether you're broke, whether you're poor, whether you're rich, whether you're whatever. A 24-hour day is a 24-hour day. What you gonna do with it? Number 5, your critical self is loud. Your critical self is loud. Don't forget, though, you have your intuition is also the other part of that. Because you're feeding either your critical self or your intuition, and you can't have a balance with that. You can have a balance with other stuff, and a balance is recommended in life, but you can't have a balance when it comes to your critical self and your intuition. Your intuition is a felt sense. Nobody knows you better than you. You know already every solution that you need in your life right now. You just got to quit being distracted from it. It's either your intuition or your critical self. You right now, today, you fed one of them more than the other, and one of them is greater in your body right now. Either your intuition is leading you right now or your critical self, but one of them is. A source of insecurity may be a highly critical inner voice. A source of, check this out, man, because when you feeling good about yourself and you having a good day or something great just happened, it's that critical self. Pay attention to it from now on. When you get negative thoughts, it's that critical self will come in there and just rain on your parade. So if you have a loud critical self, oftentimes it comes from your childhood. You too dark, you too light, you too short, you too tall, you too dumb, you too stupid, you too ugly, you too black, your hair too thin, your hair too thick, your nose too big, your lips too big, your lips too small, your nose too small, your ears too big, your ears too small. All that, man. Source of insecurity may be a highly critical inner voice. The inner voice is born out of painful or hurtful early childhood events. Check this out. Typically, your inner critic becomes louder the closer you get to your goals. Your inner critic becomes louder the closer you get to your goals. It often tells you that you're incapable or not enough. You react to these thoughts and become physically or emotionally insecure. The best way to combat this voice is by challenging and interrupting these thoughts. And anytime a negative thoughts come into your mind, switch it out with a positive thought. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's bees getting honey off of a plant. You react to these thoughts and become physically or emotionally insecure. The best way to combat this voice is by challenging and interrupting these thoughts. Ask yourself, what experiences from my past helped shape these thoughts? Where are they coming from? Asking yourself real questions will help you separate your self-worth from the negative ideas and allow you to feel self-compassion. 7 signs you're insecure about yourself. Number 6, you get offended easily. How do you deal with critical comments? Do you take everything others say to heart? Because I don't. You got to examine the person. Sometimes people have reasons why they do and say the things that they do. And you got to allow people, give people some grace and allow people room enough to be human beings, because nobody is perfect and nobody's going to say the right thing all the time. No, I'm not going to say the right thing all the time. I'm not going to do the right thing all the time because I'm not perfect. How do you deal with critical comments? Do you take everything others say to heart? It is normal to take offense when someone insults you, but exploding into a fit of rage may be a sign of insecurity. This insecurity arises when you attribute what is said about you or your actions as a reflection of your self-worth. It is normal to take offense when someone insults you, but exploding into a fit of rage may be a sign of insecurity. This insecurity arises when we attribute what is said about you or your actions as a reflection of your self-worth. A weak sense of self-confidence causes you to become angry in the face of criticism or correction, and eventually you push back, especially if the comment strikes a nerve of insecurity. You are too self-aware. Now, I had never heard of a person being too self-aware. So I was like, man, I got to figure out what they talking about with that right there, because I don't understand. Too self-aware? But it makes sense, though. Makes sense. Here we go. You are too self-aware. A healthy sense of self-awareness is good. A healthy sense of self-awareness is good, but being too self-aware has its downfalls. When you're overly self-aware, you can second-guess yourself and become too self-conscious. Self-consciousness is the type of insecurity in how we perceive ourselves. People who develop internal self-consciousness have high internal awareness because they know themselves too well. When you're insecure, you don't come off natural. Y'all see what I'm saying? When you're too aware of yourself and other people, because there are some people who go to Publix or they go to Walmart or they go somewhere, they got to sit in the car for about 10 to 15 minutes to build their confidence to get up and be around other people, because they see people going in and out the store about their day normal, and they wish they could do that. It's the insecurity that keeps them from being normal. And when you're not normal, when it comes to your security, you come off like one of them little puppets. Just walking around the store, looking uncomfortable. It don't look natural. When you're overly self-aware, you can second-guess yourself and become too self-conscious. Self-consciousness is a type of insecurity in how we perceive ourselves. People who develop internal self-consciousness have high internal awareness because they know themselves too well. They tend to monitor their thoughts and actions. They also have a tendency to focus on more unpleasant and negative sensations. So because of this, they're prone to always follow social norms and avoid risky situations like anything that might cause humiliation or embarrassment. Having high self-consciousness often lends itself to social anxiety disorder, SAD, social anxiety disorder. We all face moments of insecurities when faced with rejection and doubt. What defines the moment is not the insecurity, but rather how we react in the face of it. So we all have insecurities. Insecurity is not the problem. It's how you deal with your insecurity that's the problem.